All right, David.
Yes, sir.
David, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Tennessee.
What city?
What city? I was born in a place called Chapel Hill, but I grew up in Dixon, which is about 20, 30 minutes west of Nashville on I-40, about 3 hours from Memphis. I'm adopted. My real father was killed in the Walls Penitentiary, which is actually where they filmed The Green Mile at. Before I was born, my mom was a biker whore. Straight up, I know it sounds ugly, but that's what she was. Outlaw bikers, what my father was. In an outlaw world, women are property, and if I'm an outlaw, my old lady is also your old lady. Okay, they're just whores, they're just property. Do what you want with them, they do what they're told, and that's the end of that. But I was adopted by a man named Vernon and a woman named Loretta in Oxford, and they're Christians. Actually, Vernon was a recording artist for country music for RCA. He used to record on the same label as Elvis. And I never really fit in. Like I said, my original family was buyers, outlaws, dope addicts, the whole nine, all of them. Well, they were going to take me from my real mama, but my real mama's sister was my adopted mama's best friend. So they adopted me. They have another son, his name's Mike, and we ain't talked in 10 years because of my drug use and the way I've lived my life. So I just kind of did my own thing. I've been doing drugs since I was 11 years old, for the most part. I've had a few moments of sobriety. And I just kind of, I never really fit in, so I started traveling, hopping trains, doing drugs. And I have just tried to make my way, in life, and
Your childhood was fairly good with the adopted family?
Would say that one more time.
Your childhood was fairly good with the adopted family?
For the most part, yes. Like, I wasn't mistreated in any way or abused or anything like that.
But, today you're living on Skid Row?
Yes. Well, I frequent in and out of Skid Row. Usually I go with Venice at night, or I'll stay like Union Station area.
Yeah.
I haven't stayed in Skid Row slept on the streets in a very long time. It's just not a safe place to be.
You stay in Venice mostly?
Venice or Long Beach or
you get around.
Anywhere that's not Skid Row.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because especially with one leg.
You're in a wheelchair. How'd that happen?
Well, I shot myself. I was going to do something I had no business doing. Somebody owed me some money, and I was going to collect. And as I was going to put this, I had a sawed off, and I was going to put it down my pants leg, to walk down the street. And when I went to go do that, it went off. And I shot my leg. Well, I didn't. I put a hole through my foot, about that big around, like clean through my foot. And they tried to save it. So for 3.5 months or so, I was on a walker. And I remember I used to tell a joke, damn, I wish they just cut this thing off. And they didn't. They didn't. They was trying to save it. Well, I called gangrene. And they had no choice then. And then what became a joke of, man, I wish they just cut it off, came to, they're gonna cut it off. And I remember crying like a little baby, because I didn't want to lose my leg for real. I didn't want to be that guy, Well, they cut my leg off. I was so tore up that I OD'd in the hospital the night before surgery. Like, I really OD'd, almost died. And they cut my leg off, and for the next 3-4 years, I was angry at everything and everyone, when I really should have been angry at me, because I'm the one that did it. Well, I have learned how to adjust to my new life without a leg. It's hard. I actually had a leg, and before I was here, I was in Denver, Colorado. I had a service animal and a leg, and they stole both of them from me in Colorado. So
they stole your artificial?
They stole my prosthetic leg and my service animal. I threw away my wife and her children for drugs. And then until here recently, I have tried to just bury all the feelings and anger and stuff through drugs, you know, and I'm starting to learn now that drugs ain't helping me.
What drugs are you using?
Fentanyl and occasionally methamphetamines, LSD on occasions. But fentanyl is actually what I've been on for the last month and a half now. I started out and I thought I was doing a good thing because I was in Denver and I've been injecting drugs in my veins so long, it's kind of hard to find a vein anymore. And I just don't like to be, I don't want to be a needle junkie anymore, so I started smoking what they call blues, which is a pressed pill. It looks like a oxycodone, or not oxycodone, like a Roxy is what they call them, but a blue pill is pressed with just fentanyl. And part of the reason I left Denver is, other than the temperature and the weather, is that I was smoking 30 to 40 blues a day. And do whatever I can to make that money, you know what I mean? Like, other than killing people, hurting people, just any other hustle I would do. And I've never had something where I smoked that much. Like, I was going through a week, 3-4 lighters every week. You know, just because that's all I would do. It took me 5 pills in the morning to get well. Not even get high, that was just to get well. So I left Denver and came here. And I went from smoking those blues to just now straight fentanyl. And I can't do heroin. There's a lady here that I've known a very long time, and she sells heroin. And I can go to her right now and she give me whatever I want, just because she's like my mom. And I don't see her because it does me no good. I don't want to waste her drugs and I don't want to waste my time, you know what I mean? Heroin just doesn't help, like at all, because I'm on something so strong.
You need something stronger.
Yeah, I gotta have something stronger, and honestly, I'm tired of it. Like, I'm tired of being a junkie. That's all I've known my whole life is drugs. And like, I had an amazing wife that has 3 children that at one point loved me more than anything in this world. Well, when I met my wife, I was clean for 2 years. And we were together 6-8 months when I relapsed. We got in a fight over, I couldn't tell you what it was over, she couldn't either. But that day, I relapsed. And it's been bad ever since. Well, she thought that she got me out of Tennessee and got me to where she was from, Amarillo, Texas, where there's not really any heroin, which there's really not a lot of opiates in Amarillo. Everybody's tweaker. That would be good. Well, when we moved there, she started talking to all her old friends, and she picked up the way she wanted left off. And I didn't fit in that equation. I was sleeping on the streets and giving her money still, and she was living in a hotel. 90% of the time, I was paying for her. Well, everything just got bad, so we was arguing all the time, so I took off. And I went to Florida because there's a man in Florida, kind of like my dad, you know what I mean? My road dad, my road dad as we call him. And I was there like 2-3 months, and I got off the hard drugs. I was smoking pot and tripping LSD and mushrooms. Well, my wife said, baby, come home, I want to work things out. I was like, if me coming home involves me sleeping back on the streets and, you know, seeing you whenever you feel you have time for me, please don't do that to me. I don't want to get back on dope. Well, exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. So for 5.5, 6 months, I'm living on the streets of Amarillo, paying for her shit. At this point, she's got her own house. And one day she's honest, she's like, I've been cheating on you the whole time.
I'm sorry?
She was honest with me. She told me I've been sleeping with somebody else all the time and the kids love him. So I came here. And I've tried to kill myself 3 times since I've been here, like with ODing and stuff. And I decided I don't want to die anymore. So I'm just trying to get the nerve up to get into a detox. And I don't know where I'm going to go from there. I don't want to go home because there's just trouble back home, you know. I ain't got no warrants or nothing, but I mean, I'm well known in people, and I'm well known for making money and stuff. So people always trying to get me in slang for them, and I just don't be a part of that no more. Like, I don't think I'll ever quit smoking pot, but I'm tired of drugs. I'm tired of meth. I'm tired of the opiates. I'm tired of every morning I wake up, and if I don't get well, it's a bad day. Like, I ain't scared of a whole lot in this world. Like, I've ran up in the middle of people pulling guns on me. I've told them, have people put guns in my head and told them pull the trigger. But I'm scared that sick. I'm scared of being drug sick. It's just terrible. It's awful. But it can't be as awful as the life I've been living, man. Like, I don't stay on Skid Row anymore because Skid Row is where people, I feel, go to give up on life. These people out here don't want nothing better than what they got right now. And there's some good people out here. There really is. But they've all got this mentality, drugs are more important, and somebody you think's your best friend, give them the opportunity to take everything you got from behind, like that. Take everything. Like, I knew this one guy, and he was friends. He'll be friends, especially new kids. You can tell when you can walk around out here and look at somebody, and you can tell if they're hip to the game and they're hip to what's going on down here. They really ain't got no business down here at all. And he'll get them all jacked up and figure out where they keep everything on their body, and the first time they nod out, snatch. They wake up, they got nothing. Except with their clothes on their back, everything else is taken from them. And that's I don't want to be in a place like that anymore. I'm tired of being in places like that. I can remember when those 2 years when I was clean, some of the happiest times of my life, man. I was smiling all the time. I was healthy, like, I'm 6'4", and you shouldn't be able to see this much of my bones, you know what I mean? Like, and it's bad. And like, I was gonna go to San Francisco, and I'm glad I didn't, because last time I left San Francisco, I was 90 pounds. Like, right now, 34 is fall off of me. Like, it shouldn't be that way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a big old boy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not happy anymore.
Do you feel like you are the product of your parents, the biker and
yes,
biker girl?
I believe,
more than the parents that raised you.
I believe that
there's some genetic component.
Bad blood, if you will. I believe that I was passed down my father's temper and my father's drug life and my mom's drug life, and drugs are really one of the most important things in my life, and I hate that. But I have to have them, man. I don't know how to, and I've got to learn another way to function. And I've been to several rehabs, and the best one I've ever been to is called the Hope Center. And it's a Christian rehab, but it's not one of them preach, holier than thou. Everybody's in the program that works there is a drug addict, which helps me a lot, because I can't really learn nothing from somebody who ain't never done drugs. You can't tell me how to stay off drugs when you've never been on drugs, know how to stay off of them. And so I'm looking into a program. I'm trying to find a program that's long-term, because 30 days ain't gonna cut the butter, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna work for me. So I started praying a lot more, and I've asked God to give me opportunities to become better, you know what I mean? I've talked more to God and prayed more to God now than I have in my whole entire life. Like, last night, dude wanted to come get all where it's at and come get a little smart with me. And I just sat up and I said, look, dude, you need to go away. I suffer from multiple personality disorder, and there's a personality inside me named Docs. And Docs is dangerous. Docs is violent. Docs doesn't care about prison. Docs doesn't care about dying or taking somebody else's life. I've never killed nobody. I've come close a few times. But Docs has no remorse. You or anybody else is just freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? A speed bump into where I'm going. And I'll run over it any way I got to get there. And, there's no medication for my disorder. And they're finally realizing that now, that throwing that much medicine down my throat is not going to help that other personality. So we have finally started getting to the root of where docs came from, how he became a reality, and it's starting to help a lot. Something bad happened to me, and docs became my protector. So now if, for instance, so you made me feel like you were gonna hurt me or take advantage of me, docs is gonna immediately come out of his little hole, and he's gonna put a stop to it. And he's not gonna stop till I feel like the threat is no longer a real threat to me anymore. I beat somebody one time so bad for something they did that they're in prison now. I beat them so bad that they wouldn't turn themselves in and admitted the whole thing because they hurt a child. You know, and I feel like part of me, that was the right thing to do, but I could have went about it another way because he now wears a helmet. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's now half the man he was. And yes, in my heart, for what he did, I feel kind of that it was okay. But the other time, I feel like I shouldn't have did to that extreme, you know? And there's a lot, it's kind of how life is with me. Like, there's a part of me that some of the shit I've done, the reasons were justifiable, but I still ain't obeying the law of the land, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't obeying the rules. But sometimes, you know, justice has to be taken in other aspects too than God, you know, than the law.
Do you think, I mean, it sounds like you had good adopted parents.
Yes.
Do you think there's anything that could have saved you from being who you are today? You know, the biological component is probably a bigger part of who you are.
Yeah, I think that if I'd
You got through high school?
No, I dropped out. I dropped out in 9th grade. I was so bad in school that the time I dropped out, hell, didn't nobody care. I think the school was kind of glad, honestly. Like, I didn't care.
I just wonder if you were just destined to be who you are today, or some close version of that, or maybe you could have been, you know, an upstanding citizen with.
I would like to hope that, you know, this isn't my destiny. I would really love to hope that, but sometimes I feel like this is just what was supposed to. I am what I was supposed to be, and sometimes it makes me really sad, especially now being one-legged. Like, it's harder on the streets than it was before. Well, especially because a lot of things that happen to me now, like, and I'm gonna stand up just so you can see, like, what I'm talking about. Oh, like, this is not all the way up, and I'm a big old boy.
Yeah, you're big.
You know, so a lot of stuff happens to me now that when I was standing up before would not happen. And that's hard to deal with, you know what I mean? That's hard to swallow, that somebody can come up and talk stupid to me, and I'm just like, oh, you know, I have to now. As before, I'd be like, well, who the fuck are you talking to, man? What's your problem, you know?
You can get in their face really easily.
Yeah, like, man, I would snatch people up quick. I used to collect money for drug dealers. Like, I have smacked guns out of people's hands. I took one dude, put a gun in my head, and I wanted him to put it down his throat, and I said, give me one reason why I'll just blow your fucking head off right this second. And, you know, and so today, I'm learning to be humble, I guess, but I hate it. You see what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people know me out here, like, oh, girl, I can't remember her name, but she come home and she loves me. She gave me a big old hug. How are you doing today? You know, are you okay? Even some of the most ruthless drug dealers out here will love me, and they will stop what they're doing to come check on me. So that's nice, you know. But, like, I'm learning to do hustles that are different now. Like, I was a professional bike thief. And I'm not talking like BMX bullshit. I'm talking like $20,000, $30,000 bicycles. And I'm used to, honestly, before I lost my leg, I'm used to having, my drug habit at one point in time was $1,500 a day. And I did that every day. And yeah, I stole bikes, but I lived comfortably. I would live on the streets because I didn't have no overhead. You know what I mean? My drugs could be done for drugs. You know, all my money went to drugs and I didn't have to worry about it. Well, now, sometimes I need a hotel room, you know, like sometimes because I quit doing meth. You know, like, and now, like, I didn't sleep But doing methamphetamines, I'm one of these dudes out here screaming and hollering and talking to demons and all that shit. And I quit doing that because I'm not gonna pay to be that way. Every time I do some meth these days, I fucking hate myself. I'm uncomfortable. I feel like everything I'm doing is wrong. I feel like I'm getting on everybody's nerves. I'm bothering everybody. And so why would I pay to do that? Even she's like, you look so much better. Yeah, quit doing that. She said, thank God, you know. So, and I'm really trying to curb my fentanyl use. Like today, these days, usually a 20 will last me. I spend up $50 down fentanyl. But that's just me. It's not sharing, that's not being friends, you know, like I don't care. It's just me getting through a day. I've never been to the point where I let myself nod out anyways, because that's a good way to get taken advantage of here, you know what I mean? If I do a bunch of drugs and I'm sitting on that corner nodding, that's the opportunity for somebody to get me. You know, they've stolen my cell phone, my dog, all kinds of stuff's happened to me since I started doing this fentanyl. Well, that's why I just do enough now to be able to not be sick and get by in the day, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's nice every once in a while if I can get a hotel room, you know, I get a good shower in me. And then, yeah, I'll get trashed because I'm in the hotel room by myself. Can't nobody rob me, can't nobody get to me, you know what I mean? And I can have fun. Like, I've learned a lot of tricks since I've lost my leg to help me in life too, though. Like, I watch Disney Channel. Yeah, I'm 40 years old and I love the Disney Channel. The reason is I used to be a very, very violent person. Very mean, very angry, and very just violent. And as long as I watch a lot of Disney Channel, it kind of puts me in a different mindset, you know what I mean? Like, just like my favorite movie in this whole entire world is Aladdin. I love that movie. I don't think they could have picked a better actor than Will Smith to be the genie. It's a movie that just makes me happy, you know? So that's how I've started, you know, I'm starting to learn ways to be different in life. And I'm very random with my conversation because I can't always keep track of what I'm doing. You know, I used to be so bad that we could be having a conversation and I just get up and take off. And not even realize I'm doing it. And like, my wife used to tell people, he's probably gonna get up in the middle of your conversation and leave. He doesn't mean nothing by it, it's just part of his ADD and all that. I can't really read or write at all. It's hard to tell people that. That's why I don't do a lot of the benefits that you can get around here, because I'm afraid somebody's gonna make fun of me if I, you know, tell them I can't read or write. I'm very emotional these days. My dad's got dementia, and I don't talk to my dad because it's hard, because my dad's always been my hero. And I don't know how to say something, it's like he's lesser than he was. And I just know one of these days he's not gonna know who I am anymore, and that's gonna kill me. You know what I mean? It's gonna kill me in here. Because his approval has always meant more to me than anything in this world.
This is your adopted dad?
Yeah, it's the only dad I know. It's the only one I call dad, you know what I mean? Like, my real father was dead before. I mean, that's the story apparently I was told anyways, is that my real father was died and killed in the penitentiary. Problem is my real mother that I haven't talked to in like almost a year now. I started talking to her when I turned 18, but she's a lying piece of shit. And you never know what the truth is. One time she tried to tell me that Vernon, which is my adopted dad, was actually my real dad, that he cheated on my mom with my real mom to make me. And like, you're such a lying piece of shit, because Vernon, if there was a poster child for Christianity, it'd be him. Like, he's real deal Holyfield, you know what I mean? He lives the life and he walks the walk and he talks the talk. And, you know, and for him to be the way he is now, it hurts my heart. Because I understand why a man that's done so much in the name of God, if God's allowing to have to go through something like this, and I'm angry with God. Because I can't help my dad. I can't help him in any way. I can't help fix this situation. And I feel helpless about it. And I talked to him 2 days ago and I said, Daddy, I love you. I care about you and I don't talk to you because, and I gave him a reason. And he told me he understood. And I could hear the disappointment in his voice. But he said, I get it, son. He said, I know you're having a hard enough time it is, and then having to deal with trying to deal with me on top of it makes it bad. Like, so, I don't know, man. I just know that everything, the whole way, the train hop and all that stuff that in my life that I've done for years is no longer working. Like, and I don't really know what to do. Because everything I've done in my whole life is falling apart. And it never was great to begin with, you know what I mean? But what does a man do when everything he's worked no longer works at all? You know, so I'm trying to figure out this new way of life.
All right. Well, David, thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
your story. Very interesting.
All right, thank
All right,
you.
man. Thank you.